So you've logged into Predict for the first time and you're not sure what you're doing. Let's give you a quick tour. I'm going to start you on the Invoices tab. Tabs are at the top: Home, Invoices, Import and Financials. Get to the Invoices tab. Just ignore the daily cash balance. I'm going to show you why in a second. What you can see here are all of your unpaid invoices. I've filtered them by when they're expected to be paid. And we've got a lot that are assumed to be paid today. Predict's 5-way forecasting. We're going to come to the 3 of those things: the profit and loss. So we're predicting profit, spend, sales, the balance sheet. So you'll see all of your tax, your loans, all of that will be there, and your operating cash flow. 3 things that you're going to need if you ever go for a funding event or need to secure investment. But the 4th thing that it does is brings in your invoices and bills so that we can be really pinpoint accurate on your short-term cash flow. The 5th thing it does is create automated predictions by analyzing all of your hundreds of thousands of transactions that have happened in the past. But we'll come to that in a second. So filter by expected date. You'll see the total of all of the unpaid invoices that you've got. You'll see any that are overdue, and you'll see things that are any that are excluded from the cash flow. If all of these are assumed to be paid today, if they're late, if they're overdue, the system is going to assume they're paid today. It's highly likely that they're not going to get paid today. So what do? You just hit the calendar icon and enter the date if you know when a customer is going to pay you. Same with you paying bills. And in some situations, you're just going to want to exclude it if you're not sure something's going to get paid at all. So you'll see that I've excluded this large one here. We've got that now as a note in the little tile there. And our daily cash balance, our predicted cash balance, has reduced by 60k, as one would expect. So that needs to be done first. Go through your invoices, go through your bills, tweak them as you see fit, and then that piece of the puzzle is done. As new bills and new invoices are come in, this is where you start first. You just go check, make sure you're happy. You're in control of your numbers then and your predictions. Now we're going to go to the home section, and we are not going to start on sales. We're going to start on expenses. I want you to do the same thing. Again, what I want you to do is go through each of the accounts, and it's just, it's going to take a little bit longer on your first go, but this is about you becoming comfortable with the numbers and the prediction algorithms that have got to these figures that you are seeing in front of you. Predict hitting about between 80 and 90% accuracy on these predictions. So just take your time and go through it. So go to expenses first. I'm going to choose the audit and accountancy fees row, and I'm going to open it. And so all of these numbers, so these are all accounts that you would find within your chart of accounts. You may have a lot more than here. I'll talk about that in a second. But every single one of them has got a predicted row. So if we collapse and then expand all, you can see that every single one has got a prediction. In some cases, there will be not enough data, and so we can't create a prediction for it. And that's where you will potentially add your own if you need to, but we'll come to that too. So if I collapse them all and just open the audit and accountancy fees and hit one of the predicted numbers, you will see your prediction assistant slides in from the right-hand side, and it will give you some information on where that number's come from. You have to trust the predictions, right? And so we're really clear about what's been detected and why that number is that number. Now, you will also notice that there are 2 wee toggles here, which are also mirrored on the right-hand side. You're looking at the activity side of things. This is the profit and loss piece. This is what you're going to sell when, what you're going to buy, because they're in expenses, when, and exclusive of any sales tax, so excluding VAT or GST. If you're in Australia, New Zealand. So if we hit this, we can see it's got steady repeated activity over the previous 4 months. We're going to continue the predictions in that vein unless a new trend is detected. So that's from the transactions. Now, this account doesn't have any journals because we're also looking at journal activity within your account. What would be a good account to show you that? Salaries. So let's click on this and you'll see that there aren't any transactions for salaries that are just journals. So again, it's looking for invoices and bills, cash transactions, so same day transactions, retail, hospitality, they're typically same day, and journal activity as well, which often your accountant is going to be posting journals for you, but the system creates the journals just like your accountant would for future predictions. So you'll also see that if we click on, let's go back to audit and accountancy fees, and we click on the cash impact side of things? Well, because we've got the ability to plot the cash flow, including gross sales, the system has stated that you're going to get 0 in August, and you're going to get, be paying out 1,422 quid in September in this instance. Exactly the same happens with utility. So this is gross. This is the cash flow piece. This is the money that's coming in or going out of your bank. And again, what you'll have at the top here is an analysis over how long it takes your customers to pay you. In this instance, it's 27 days. In this instance, it's 30 days. And if we go down, we can see cleaning and maintenance. What's this one? I don't know. 30 days. This is a demo account, so it's not very juicy. But you've got both sides of the coin. What you're selling when, and when the thing's going to get paid. It's a complete prediction engine for you. Well, if we look at cost of sales and expenses and sales, this is where the build up for your financials is going to come, so that we can also predict your profit. So it's predicting your sales, your spend, your profit. It's calculating all of those things for you. Heading back to expenses just really quickly, I'm going to collapse all. Now, you might have a ton of accounts, way more than this, and that can feel quite unwieldy. So what you can do is, if you hover over any of the names of those accounts and check that one, let's check salaries, employers, national insurance, and pensions. And we're going to create a group called staff. And group that one, then we will see everything's updated, the group's been created, and if we then want to reorder that, we go over here to the right-hand side to reorder the accounts, and we'll pull this one up to the top. So dead easy to make your business look like your business. You'll see here as well, if we continue to focus on the right-hand side, you can add decimalization, you can show small rows. This is a 0 account. The data was synced 6 hours ago. If there are any unreconciled bank transactions in 0, we're going to let you know here how much out your bank balance may be in a good or in a positive or a negative manner. We'll give you a link so you can go straight over to 0, do your reconciliations, hit sync now, and in a few seconds, your predictions will be updated. You always want to make sure that you're on top of those if you can be. So we go back to sales. You're going to go through, you're just going to check through and build your confidence looking at the predictions by hitting any of those predicted numbers. Site panel comes out, work your way through, and then we come to sales. Getting to the sales side, I wish that the product was called Psychic. It's not, it's called Predict. There might be things here that you know about that we just don't. In that case, if there's anything that you think, actually, do you know what? The system can't possibly know about this. I'm just going to turn off that predicted row. And you'll see that the predictions are still there in the background, and they'll continue to be calculated. You've not stopped the functionality happening, so you'll be able to see through the strike through exactly what the system's predicting for you. But you can create your own. There are freestyle, there are repeating, there are unit-based predictions for all of your activity, and then they've got the other side of the coin when you think those things are going to get paid as well. So you can have split payments, you can have same-day payments. You can create your own payment profile in the manual predictions. There's another video for that. So this is the whistle-stop tour. Now I'm going to take you over to financials. So this is where you find the things that you're going to need, the 3 things you're going to need: P&L, balance sheet, cash flow. For any funding event that you need, you're raising finance, you're going to need to provide this. Remember, you've got a year's worth of historicals in the back, which has been pulled from your accounts package. So you've always got these as a reference point for you. Let's just open it up. I'm going to turn on that prediction again. So there's nothing, of course, for the historicals, but if we move forward, there we go, there's the predictions. We also do these for 3 years for you. As in a post-COVID world that we're living in, credit's going to be more difficult to come by, and having that longer range outlook is what a lot of lenders are going to look for. We're giving you 3 years, not just 12 months. So you will have added to it, you've finessed it, you've decided, you've got your base level. Then as you come back into Predict, you're just tweaking. It's just tweaking here and there, just to give yourself confidence, to test out decisions by saying, well, if I take on a new member of staff now, is that going to be a good thing? Can I afford to buy that piece of equipment? Should I take this loan out versus that loan out? And so on and so forth. So you have all of this information. If we go to the balance sheet, you've also got VAT being calculated or GST being calculated for you, depending on which location you are. The next payment that you have to make will be stated here. So you've got something that's quite stressful. You've always got a note on your prediction. And we're calculating this just like your accounts package would. We're properly looking at transaction by transaction from in your VAT periods that have been set up here in settings. So right-hand side, predict settings. If I hit the cog, you can see this is where all of the transactions are being posted to. So the 3 ways to create the profit and loss balance sheet and cash flow, which is why you should never be doing this in a spreadsheet, are just mapped. It's a mapping thing. So you've got your bank account here, your main one, accounts receivable and payable. That might be trade debtors or creditors in your system. We'll look and try and match for what we think the account is. So you just need to quickly check that we've matched the right one. And then with your sales tax, we also support accrual and cash based tax. We're also scanning that for you, so that's all done. And we're also looking for payments. So any payments that are being made in the historical, so that we can actually give you that next predicted tax payment as accurately as possible. It's not 100%, but 90% is better than nothing, right? So we've got all of your payments. If you open up the bank account, you can see exactly, what's going to be paid out when. All of the 3-way forecasting when that's hitting the banks there. You've also got in your balance sheet things like debt. So if you've got a new loan that you want to take on, we've got a really nifty way that is also in another video, but I'm going to show you how you get to that, to create real loan amortization. So full payment plans, absolutely posting it to your, to the correct principal and interest payments. But if you've got existing loans that you're already paying for, we recognize the journals, so we're going to continue those on. So the final thing is our import section. So we've used Google's APIs to create a live link between Google Sheets and Predict, which will also map your chart of accounts in both ways. So again, it's in a separate video. You've got different videos for each one of, it's my dog in the background. You've got different videos for each one of them. Standard, wonderful, working from home. But you've got really detailed, including all of the tables that would be in there for UK payroll, Australian payroll. So you can get each one of your staff members in there if you want to. And here's the loan amortization. There's loads of different templates, but we'll come to those in a different video. Your whistle stop tour is done.